Here are today's top stories. The government vows to keep essential goods affordable as weather disturbances pull up inflation to 1.7% in September. Senate President Vicente Sotto III welcomes President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s decision to make way for a thorough review of the 2026 national budget. Power cooperatives managed to restore power in 24 barangays in storm-hit Masbate. A new environment-friendly electric ferry service will start carrying passengers along the Pasig River by November. This is the Pna Headlines. I am William Theo. The government will intensify efforts to stabilize supply and prices of essential goods after weather disturbances pulled up consumer prices in September. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, said headline inflation went up at 1.7% in September, slightly higher than the 1.5% seen in August but lower than the 1.9% in September 2024. Department of Economy, Planning and Development Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said the September figures show that prices remain manageable despite pressures on supply. He said they are working with various agencies to stabilize supply, maintain prices, and safeguard household welfare. Among the Marcos administration's efforts are pursuing long-term policies to ensure fair income to farmers, stabilizing rice prices, and maintaining macroeconomic stability. The latest data brought year-to-date inflation to 1.7%, which is still below the 2% lower end of the government's 2% to 4% target. The PSA said this happened as the annual transport index increased at 1% in September 2025 for an annual decline of 0.3% in August 2025. It also cited the increase in the food and non-alcoholic beverages index. Vegetable inflation especially rose sharply to 19.4% from 10%, mainly due to the effects of successive weather disturbances in key production areas. And on the other hand, price indices of meat and rice continue to decrease. Senate President Vicente Sotto III has welcomed President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s decision not to certify the proposed 2026 national budget as urgent, saying this will make way for a better review of the measure by Congress. According to Sotto, the president said he does not want to shortcut on the 3-day interval set between the second and third readings of a bill. The House of Representatives had planned to pass the budget on second reading by October 10 and on third reading shortly after. House Speaker Faustino D. III, however, reported that the House of Representatives will adjourn on October 13 without a presidential certificate of urgency for the budget bill. Sotto said that Marcos wanted lawmakers to do a more transparent and accountable review of the budget. He also warned against making last-minute amendments and insertions, saying all proposals should be made openly and properly recorded before the Senate. Sotto also said he had discussed with the Senate Committee on Finance the need to remove unprogrammed funds in the budget other than foreign-assisted projects. In our news from the provinces, efforts to restore power in Masbate following the devastation of severe tropical storm Opong are gaining ground as 24 barangays now have electricity. The Masbate Electric Cooperative, or Maselco, said out of 328 barangays connected to the cooperative, 7.3% have had their power restored. These include 10 barangays in Masbate City, 3 in Mandaon, 3 in Uson, 6 in Mobo, and 1 each in Balud and Kataingan. In a social media post, Maselco asked consumers for patience, understanding, and cooperation as personnel and sister cooperatives are working tirelessly to restore power to all affected areas. Masbate was among the hardest hit provinces when severe tropical storm Opong hit the country last month. Maselco estimated that damage to electricity due to Opong reached 390.3 million pesos. In other news, commuters may now travel around the Metro Manila via the Pasig River in an environmentally friendly way with the launch of MB Dalaray, the first Philippine-made ferry running on electric battery. MB Dalaray is capable of carrying up to 40 passengers and 3 crew members for up to 3 hours. The ferry will pass through Pasig, Makati, Mandaluyong, Taguig, and Manila. It will begin operations along the Pasig River in November. MB Dalaray was launched by the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, University of the Philippines, Diliman, and Maritime Industry Authority. DOST Secretary Renato Solidum Jr. said, MB Dalaray is a Filipino-made project made to promote a clean, modern, and future-ready transportation system. He said the project contributes to the economy by utilizing rivers and boosting tourism. It also highlights the government's initiative on lessening reliance on fossil fuels and reducing carbon emissions. Marina Administrator Sonia Malaluan said the project will help in easing traffic and provide a comfortable journey for commuters. In our business news, the Philippine Carabao Center, or PCC, seeks to boost the dairy farm industry in Ilocos Norte as it expands its Carabao upgrading program to the different towns of the province. PCC Director Joel Cabading said that in the Ilocos region, milk production doubled in the first 3 years from 50,000 liters to 100,000 liters per annum. He cited the national government's program on genetically improving the Philippine Carabao breed, which produced over 145,000 calves in the last 5 years. Approximately 90% of these calves are bred for milk and meat purposes, while the remaining 10% is for draft power. In Ilocos Norte, some of the animals were entrusted to farmer organizations such as in Dingras and Badoc towns. The PCC is also collaborating with the Dingras municipal government and the Mariano Marcos State University to boost Carabao milk production. Meanwhile, Cabading said the PCC is linking farmers to institutional buyers and government feeding programs. Carabao milk and Carabao-based products are also being promoted in trade fairs as well as in Kadiwa stores. And in other news, condominium rental rates have dropped from pre-pandemic levels due partly to oversupply and the exit of Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs. Roy Goles, the True Property Consultants Director for Research and Consultancy, said the average rent per square meter in the Manila Bay area declined by 52% compared to the first quarter of the year 2020. It was followed by rates in Alabang and Muntinlupa City, down 39%, Ortigas in Pasig City and in Mandaluyong City 22%, and Makati City at 18%. On the other hand, rental rates in Taguig City rose 17%, with those in Bonifacio Global City increased by 3%. Goles said condo rental rates dropped as more companies like major banks opened their head offices in BGC and in Makati. Meanwhile, Goles hopes government housing could help the middle-income segment in buying condominium units, particularly through financing programs such as the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program, GSIS, Pag-ibig Fund, and Social Housing Financing Corporation. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA headlines. For more news updates, visit our website, pna.gov.ph, or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. Stay with us for more news updates. And for our Christmas countdown, it is 79 days to go before Christmas. Peace may feel far away right now, but every act of kindness brings it a little closer this season. I am William Theo. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.